Hi guys.
Hello.
What's
How's
up?
everybody doing today?
Happy Monday, or
Hope
whatever
every-
day it is you're watching this.
right. But today is Monday where we do our lives. Hope everybody had a wonderful Halloween. So this is our Monday after
Mm-hmm.
Halloween. It's a great time for us. Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. All right, let's go.
Right. Okay, so I think everybody's here to upgrade their brain.
I
What do
agree.
you
I am
think?
too. I've noticed a difference.
Yeah, no, it's great stuff. If your brain doesn't have enough energy, I mean, we can't think, we can't focus, we can't remember,
Yeah.
we can't regulate our mood. I mean, our brain is so important, and the problem is it's basically depleted of energy, and like I said, when it doesn't have enough, all else fails.
Well, it's crazy. It's only 2% of our body weight, and everybody's heard this stat by now. 2% of our body weight, 20% of our energy consumption.
Yeah.
So it's a
So
really mighty.
20% of our caloric intake goes to fueling our brain. All this other stuff,
Yeah. Even the heart, the high
20%
energy
of
demand,
it
but the
goes to our
is
brain.
by far the biggest consumption center.
Yeah. So, well, first off, we didn't say, if you guys don't already, go ahead real quick, just like, subscribe, and also throughout this, leave us comments, questions. We will do it
Yeah,
at the end. But
definitely.
most importantly, like and subscribe right now. That way you can get all this information that we bring you, and you can help others because of the education that you receive, right? So today we're going to talk about why creatine is a top cognitive supplement.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like we just said, the truth is our brain is one of the most energy hungry organs in the body. So we have to fuel it. Our brains depend directly on creatine to function, right? So that's crazy because I'm saying creatine, and I bet you everybody out there is thinking creatine, oh, creatine for muscles, creatine for bodybuilders, creatine, for those gym rats.
That's how historically it's been.
Right. And it's been around like historically. I mean, it's been
Long
around
time.
forever, and it's
One of the
stayed
oldest, most studied
consistent.
supplements, right?
Right. So, I mean, it works, right? It's very powerful, but we're learning more and more, and the research is out there more and more about the effects of creatine on the brain, and also how to dose it specifically for the brain,
Yeah.
right? So that's really what we want to focus on today. We'll talk about how creatine fuels cognitive performance, why deficiency is extremely common, why brain health requires higher doses than muscle health, and how our LiveGood creatine plus H&B fits into this whole program, this
Sure.
whole strategy, right?
Sure.
Okay, so let's just start off what creatine does to the brain. So again, like we said, we know about the muscle performance. We'll tap into that a little bit, but we're here to focus on the cognitive performance.
But you can't talk about it without knowing at least some of the background on how creatine stores in the body.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, so I'll jump in
Would you
there.
want to go there? Would you want to go there now?
Yeah, I mean, the way the creatine acts as a reservoir, the body uses a reservoir. So just a little bit of backstory to creatine. It is a non-essential amino acid, which means the body does make some of it. But of course, as we age, if we're stressed, there's all these different environmental components that can cause our body to use up our creatine storage rather quickly. So
Right.
generally speaking, our body needs 1 to 3 grams a day just to cover our bodily function, like what we need.
Right. So while you're saying that, let's just say
Yeah.
this. Our body makes about 1 gram a day.
Right.
So that is what we are making.
Right.
As we age,
Yeah.
obviously we don't produce things as well.
Right.
And most diets can only provide about 1 to 2 grams on top of that. And that's most diets. When I'm saying things like vegan, vegetarian, extremely, you're not getting it from your diet because this comes from animal sources.
That's right.
And predominantly red meat, which a lot of people do cut out of their diets. So another reason why supplementation is crucial.
In that example, if you run a deficit, like you said, if you need, say, 3 and you're only making 1 with the body and getting a little bit out of diet, not enough,
Right.
your body will just break down some of the tissue to free up the stores so that it can use it in other places. Kind of
Right.
similar in a way to how amino acids, but no, it's not actually similar. But so as we age, you lose some of that normal endogenous production.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, we store between 100 to 120, it's called millimoles per kilogram. But when you start to supplement, you can store up to 160. So you can virtually get a 25% boost in the storage amount of creatine, because that's the way the body works. It works as a storage reservoir.
So that's almost like with consistent use, though, right?
Yeah, you mean to get it up to 160
And maintain it.
and maintain it.
Yeah.
Yeah, consistent use at about 5 grams,
Right,
which is
which is
one
one
serving.
scoop, yeah.
Right, 1 scoop, 1 serving. That's been your normal like muscle bodybuilding thing because your muscles will use up that 5 grams, generally speaking, if you're stressing them every day. If you're using your muscles to work, you will go through that 5 grams a day. That's probably why we're going to talk about going into higher dosages for the brain, because once that muscle uses up to 5, it's kind of like, oh, where do we get the rest of it from?
Right.
You know, and so how do we optimize the brain function? Because ultimately that's what you're trying to do. You want to build up those stores of creatine, and you can do it, I mean, very safely. 50 years plus of literature and scientific studies, you know, thousands of studies, most studied ingredient, really virtually 100% effective at improving body composition. But, you know, today we'll focus on brain health, but realize that it really applies to the skeletal muscle tissue, the smooth muscle tissue.
Right.
And then, you know, generally speaking, when you hear people complain about creatine, say, well, I put on water weight, you know, realize that that's just osmosis bringing water into the muscle cell. It's not affecting fat cells. It's not affecting,
right. And if you do feel like that, it's very temporary, just as your body is adjusting and getting used to it.
Yeah,
like
it is
like 1 to 2 weeks, if that.
On its own, correct. But if you've never supplemented with creatine and you started, and within 4 weeks you would feel increase in strength, stamina, endurance.
Sure.
Probably computing
like
power,
a basic dose.
A basic 5 grams.
Yeah.
5 grams a day.
Sorry, grams.
Yeah, 5 grams a day. So
Yes.
it's an incredibly powerful supplement. You know, been used a long time, mostly like you said, by athletes, by men, by certain segments of the population for performance. But now the scientific the community is really kind of going, okay, hey, let's push this into the stressed brains, the people that aren't sleeping as well, the jet lag, the aging brain, which is, you know, obviously a big thing.
Right.
The neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. You know, those are the categories where you're like, okay, definitely let's push more.
Yes.
Into.
Even things like chronic inflammation, trauma.
Sure.
You said poor sleep.
I did say poor sleep.
Poor sleep, sleep deprivation.
Sleep
And then sometimes it's not just that, like you sleep poorly every day. It's also like if you're traveling and you've got severe jet lag, or not even severe, but just like something that's disrupting your sleep. I mean, it's really depleting those creatine stores. These are all they're stressors. They are all stressors.
And it is a daily turnover, right? You know, if you're using up your stores, it needs to be replenished, and that's where the body will make some, like you said, 1 gram if you're aging, but usually can be a little higher. But and then the liver does that, and typically you get it from your diet. So, but as you age and as other things happen, that's what we're here to talk about today.
Right.
So now that you understand the storage process, the way creatine works, and the fact that the body makes some, but typically not enough.
Yes. And think about it too, is the brain is the last organ to receive the creatine supplementation. So if you think about, you always hear the muscle cells being greedy. The muscle cells are going to take all that creatine. So you need to saturate the muscles for the brain to actually benefit from it. And that's what we're going to talk about, you know, how to do that, and give you a little bit more advice on that. So let's just shoot it out there. What does creatine do for the brain? I'm just going to list off, wonderful things.
Okay.
Wonderful things. But your brain burns energy every millisecond to do things like form memories, process information, regulate emotions, stay focused, handle stress. I mean, it is constantly on fire.
Of course.
So the creatine acts like a rapid energy reserve for these brain cells. It recycles ATP, and your cell, which is your cell's main fuel source. So our neurons, so they don't run out, right? So it's constant. So we need it. So when creatine levels are low, right? Think about the opposite. Mental fatigue increases, memory recall slows, stress tolerance drops, mood becomes less stable, and focus is harder to maintain. But on the flip side, when you have creatine levels are high or optimized, let's put it like that, this makes the formula ideal for, let's just say, busy adults, right? We are all busy and stressed, right? It could even be great stress. It's all good stress. You know, business is rocking and rolling and doing great, but our brains are constantly having to work to fire. So that these are all stressors that are important for needing to have optimized creatine. Aging adults, like we talked about, chronic stress, we talked about, covering from illness or injury, and then cognitive stamina. You're just basically the basic need for it. Also, I'll throw it out there too, is it's being pushed a lot more for perimenopause and menopause. But this also wraps up into that, right? Just real quick, in what happens there is, our body goes under a lot of chronic stress. Things change, brain fog happens, we lose muscle mass. All of this stuff is a big major stressor on the female body. So the importance of creatine for muscle and for brain, it's extremely important during that time. So you'll see a lot of those supplements out there that are like marketing specifically for postmenopausal or perimenopausal women. But when you really break it down, because it's just creatine. They're just using a marketing approach that this is for women, which is, it's great because it gets more women involved in understanding how important creatine is.
Yeah, because they've been reluctant to jump in on the creatine thing just simply because they thought it was, I'll pack on water weight pounds.
Right.
Usually,
Right.
One of the main.
That was my biggest hesitation when I started because that was all I heard, and then of course,
Now you know all the benefits.
Right, and I had no problem with it. The creatine is being researched in things like ADHD, depression, traumatic brain injury, obviously the cognitive decline disorders, concussion, long COVID, which is a big deal and newer to everyone, and just learning and memory optimization. So.
Have you seen any studies where using it in children?
I have not seen studies, but one of the doctors I follow that is like guru on creatine supplementation for the brain, she speaks very highly of it for children. Not necessarily does she say stuff about younger children, but like children that are high demand in school.
Sure.
Sports, just stress, children with ADHD.
13 and up, basically.
Yeah. So, it's important. It's important for all of us.
It absolutely is for developing brains.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. All right. So let's get into the dosing.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, the biggest misunderstanding for the brain is the fact that you do have to increase the dose.
Yeah.
So say you take 1 scoop of hours of 5 grams, which is basically the most common scoop size.
Sure.
But they do say like 3 to 5 grams, for the muscle. That's fine for muscle performance. That's wonderful. But for the brain performance, you actually have to increase. And they're saying like 10 to 25 grams per day. Now, this can also be a little bit individualized. You'll feel the difference. I will promise you. But the upper end, that 25 grams, those studies are in those that are like severely sleep deprived, like 21 hours of sleep deprivation, and then they load the body, and like the cognitive performance is like through the roof, like really, really combats that sleep deprivation as well as enhances the cognitive performance when they haven't slept. But the 10 milligrams is something that can be more on a daily routine basis. And sometimes you do have to start a couple weeks of, the higher dose, saturate everything, make sure, your muscles have everything they need, and then your brain's getting it. And then you could go with like a maintain for like the 10 grams daily. But again, feel it out, example, I know my brother does high performance gambling. And whenever he is going to an event, he will up onto that 25 grams. And he says sometimes he is so stimulated that it's hard for him to sit in the seat, which is so interesting. And it's totally different than a caffeinated stimulation, right? Your brain is just on fire, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's great. Great.
Personally for me, I take the 10. I've been taking creatine 5 grams for a long time, and I have upped it to the 10. I do split my dose. Creatine can cause for some GI upset, but
that's what I was going to caution on.
Yeah. But so, if you can divide in the little 5 gram doses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe not do all 15 grams with your morning coffee.
Right.
At the same time.
Right. So personally for me, I'll take a scoop before the gym. And then a few hours later, when I'm home and I'm making my smoothie with all my stuff in it, I do another scoop. So there's my 10 grams. And if I needed another one later in the day, I would just wait a few hours and do another one.
That's good advice. Yeah, I think that works. I think 15 grams is a good target dose. For sure.
Yeah. So,
now it's hard to keep going without at least adjusting the HMB.
Oh, yes. No, I do have. Okay. So of course, we have our specific LiveGood product, which is not just creatine, as you notice, it's creatine plus HMB. And this is also why this makes this such a superior choice because of the HMB. So if you want to talk about HMB?
Yeah, it's beta hydroxybeta methyl butyrate. It is it's a byproduct of amino acid metabolism. So leucine, which is the main branch chain amino acid responsible for muscle protein synthesis, so building muscle. It's a metabolite, so it makes basically HMB. It's a metabolite. And that metabolite is really important, again, in that muscle protein synthesis, so helping to build, retain, maintain muscle mass. But it's also a very important cofactor in recovery, in the body's response to stress. So the HMB component with creatine not only has additive benefits, potentially some synergistic benefits, very, very, very safe, naturally occurring. The body, again, it's not essential. So the body basically makes it. But what's interesting is leucine is essential. So you have to get it from your diet, but technically HMB is not a non-essential, but
Okay.
it can only be made from an essential
Sure.
amino acid. So if you're not getting enough of the amino acid leucine, then yeah, certainly you could be deficient or insufficient in HMB.
Right.
So very similar in a way to creatine, because creatine is also a byproduct or a metabolite of amino acids.
Right.
So,
But also, like if you think about it, if you're taking creatine for the muscle, just say, you actually have to, the muscles have to be stressed, right? So that's
You have
where
to put the
that's
work
where
in.
it works.
Yeah.
That's where it's
you
designed to
have
work.
put the work in.
So by taking the creatine for your muscle and also putting in the work in the gym or in your home
Yeah.
garage, whatever
Yeah.
it is, that's where it's going to work. But HMB can pair so synergistically with the creatine because it can help maintain lean mass during
Periods of rest.
stress or inactivity.
Inactivity.
Yeah, so it helps,
That's right.
keep it going.
That's
So and really supports the strength during aging. So really a great combo here, which is obviously why we put it in there.
Yeah, it's like, the body for creatine to help you build muscle mass, endurance, and strength and stamina, you've got to put the work in on the muscles, right? You have to stress and strain the muscle.
But our
For the brain is
brains,
just constant.
we're
So
always
you already know it's
stressed
there.
or
So
working.
what you need to make sure is that you're covering that reservoir, filling it up, make sure there's enough there so the brain can tap into it
Right.
as needed anytime throughout the day. So
I was just going to look up our
So
price.
I did see a question here coming up. Thank you for
Yes.
the reminder. It said, what about HMB? So that was,
Oh,
that was
good.
helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, it was on the list. I was just scrolling on our website real quick so I can give you guys the accurate price because I
I'm gonna
can't
pull
remember
a few.
all
I know
of the
everybody-
prices.
A lot of questions and comments, guys. Appreciate y'all.
All right, so member
Freaking
price for our creatine is $19.95. Retail price is $24.95, right? So yes, obviously, member price makes sense. If you're becoming a member, makes sense. And if you're going to double or triple the dose, right, you need to. I mean, we've made this affordable, so you can do so.
Well, then on that. So, hey, Frank Schaefer says, do I get benefits of essential amino acids with this creatine? I already take EAA and superreds. Don't really want to take all three. I'm a 70 male, good health. Hate to break it to you, Frank. Absolutely, the creatine's got to be stacked on top of that because the essential aminos are awesome. Like for what we just said, they're essential. You have to get them from diet or exogenous supplementation.
Right.
Super reds are awesome for other reasons. But the creatine stands alone in that category. Definitely
Right.
add. I think if you added one scoop and went up to 3 scoops a day, especially at your age of 70, male, good health. Oh boy, watch out! You're gonna feel amazing.
Right. And I know adding another product is, sometimes can be a pain, but again,
sure.
with taking your essential aminos and super reds, I mean, they can all go in one drinks, right?
I'm
So
actually
you don't have
surprised,
to
Frank,
think
that you're
about it.
not already taking creatine.
Yeah,
If you're in good health, it must mean that you're active and that you're eating healthy, and so that's great, man.
yeah,
Good job.
your body
Keep it
needs
up.
it.
Keep it up. Do you want me to start doing more questions? or
Yeah.
you just kinda
No,
just
no,
gonna
go ahead.
pause? So,
I'm just making sure
how
I
does
said
creatine
everything.
affect blood pressure? It really doesn't. Any extra water is going to come into the muscle cell, so I wouldn't worry about it from like a blood volume perspective. I'm on. I mean, again, 50 years of studies. It's virtually harmless. There's only thing, like Lisa said, maybe some GI upset, high dosing. There's a myth that it can cause kidney damage just because if you had blood work and you're taking creatine, potentially your serum creatinine, which is just one measure of kidney health, can be elevated. But the moment you tell your doctor you're on creatine, like, oh, okay,
No
no
big
big
deal.
deal.
Right.
It's not causing kidney damage.
I'm glad you said that because that's the biggest thing.
not
Like,
causing
let your
kidney
doctor
damage.
know what you're taking.
Yeah, tell them you're taking creatine. They'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
And if you really want to check it, take a break
Then stop the creatine
before your
and-
blood work.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so it's not like
Do a
this false
washout-
reading. Yeah.
washout period for that. As a matter of fact, the people on dialysis that are, they're very, very low on creatine, and that it's causing problems for them. So
Right.
most urologists now are trying to implement a
flipping.
creatine protocol. What?
It's kind of flipping.
On
The
dialysis.
school of thought is
Yeah,
flipping.
totally. Hang on, guys. I know there's
And
some really good
biggest
questions
things
in
too, while
here.
you're doing this, you hydrate and stay consistent, right? Got to hydrate to keep things moving.
If this question is creatine mask the resistance of muscles, like doing weightlifting and unable to feel the pain and may push their limits and result in muscle tear. No, I think it actually will improve the amount of strength, endurance, and stamina, and your contractility. I mean, you're going to be able to push a little harder. It won't mean that you're pushing so hard you can't feel an injury coming.
What? I missed the where. I was
Right
trying
here,
to read
just
it.
this one. Can it mask the resistance? Meaning, can you be more prone to injury
Oh,
because you're having
right. No,
more
I mean that's a
strength?
great
It
great
is a
question.
great
But
question.
really,
Love it.
like say in the gym, you're lifting weights, and you could probably get maybe 2 to 3 more reps in because of the creatine boosting muscle performance, or like a whole nother set in.
Right.
Nothing that's going
Or
to,
your rest period's shorter.
right, because you're recovering faster. Yeah.
Those are
So
things that you will notice.
little things like that. But guys, those little things are what make all the difference in the gym for, improvement.
Continuous take creatine will help their aging brain. That should be clear by now. I think we
Seniors,
covered that
100%,
really,
guys.
really clearly. Can you add creatine in your morning cup of tea? Sure. It won't deactivate or inactivate with high heat. You're fine to add that.
Yes. It can really be added to anything. I will tell you
It's
that
got a little bitter by itself,
I
right?
think the HMB
Yeah.
has a bitter flavor. So if
Yeah,
you just put it in
creatine.
water, it's just a little bit bitter. But when you mix it with anything, the bitterness goes away. So I like to just mix it with our powders, like I said, or throw it in and throw it in my smoothie. That way, you get a lot of supplements in it in one cup.
Joan Monivo uses it every day, which is great. I mean, again, these so many positive comments coming here. Good to know how creatine can increase brain health by Ruth. Yes, she noticed muscle strength and stamina after a month of daily usage. I mean,
Awesome.
it's
Yeah, so
unbelievable.
now that you've been doing it for a month for the muscle health, increase it. Now let's focus on the brain health. Yeah. So again, that's like really the target of this training, is to let you guys know how it can benefit brain health and how you can dose to help it benefit brain
Crazy
health.
thing too, when you hear about things like fibromyalgia, so it's a pain syndrome. It's kind of hard to diagnose. It's a syndrome. It doesn't really have a good understanding of what's causing it, but like Lisa said, it can help with the inflammatory process too. So people that suffer with pain, joint pain, you'd be surprised. Creatine can actually help a lot with that. All right, so this is it. Sorry guys, if the questions don't pertain, I just kind of skipping over some of them.
Yeah, and still, guys, that eat your foods high in creatine.
Please.
Eat your grass-fed red meat. Just it's important to supplement with it as well as consume it from your diet.
It's great. All these
Yeah,
great
good stuff,
comments.
guys.
Hello to everybody.
And for those of you that have just ordered, a lot of those saying, I just ordered, I can't wait to
Yeah,
start. I
yeah.
mean, I'm excited to hear your, how you feel. And like I said, it's not going to happen immediately, right? Because you do need to saturate things. Your muscles really need to be able to take it up and then again
Yeah.
take it up a notch to get to the brain health.
But I got to tell you, the price point. Thankfully thank goodness for the low price point, because what you're going to notice when you go from 5 to 15 grams a day, you're going to go from 1 to 3 servings. This is 30 servings. Now you just took your 30-day supply down to 10 days. So
Yeah.
be mindful that you will consume this tub much faster. So 10 days, make sure you get at least 3 tubs for a month's supply. I'd say probably do that for 3 months, and then you can work your dosing based on your lifestyle, 10 to 15 grams a day, no less than 5 grams, so no less than 1 scoop a day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
Let me just kind of spin down through a few more. Really pouring in a lot.
And if you guys join late, just make sure you go ahead, like and subscribe to our channel. We do these trainings every Monday, try to bring to you guys a health topic, typically something with our products, but a little bit of a twist on it, right? So you understand different uses and benefits of our products. All of our post trainings are on our YouTube channel, so make sure you catch up on those. Just go on a walk and stick your AirPod in your ear and listen to us. You don't have to watch these, right? We don't really show you anything. It's more of us talking about things.
Just covered there. Any risk on kidneys? Is there any risk of overdosing by Alric? No, there's not. I mean, it's a saturation thing. Anything that's not used will just be flushed out. That's why there is an upper limit. It could potentially be the GI upset before there's an upper limit, kind of like similar to magnesium in a lot of ways. But
right. And someone's saying, again, going back to the children, so it's safe for children. Guys, always discuss supplementation with the child's pediatrician, because they do know your child's body best. But I mean, the improvements go for,
yeah,
younger
for
ages
sure.
as well.
This question, some of them we answered, but I'm okay to go right back to this one. Could this help with Parkinson's from Janet? Neurodegenerative disease it's a brain disease. You've really got to focus on giving the brain as much as you can. We just kind of talked about the way that the storage mechanisms work, how the brain uses it.
Right.
Yes.
And
yes, and yes. Parkinson's, Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend to those patients that they add on creatine.
Yes, and I'm not sure what else they're taking of ours, Janet, but you can also email me and I will help you with a supplement stack that can help for Parkinson's.
Yeah, exactly. There's another question about stacking, whether it's greens, super greens, and all this stuff. So
yeah, all
what's
this stuff,
HMB?
all this stuff can be stacked.
Just covered what's HMB. If you didn't hear it, guys, go back just a little bit.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, I feel like we covered what we need to.
We did.
If there are any questions that we did not get to, yeah, it is great. If there's any questions that we didn't get to, please make sure you email me. And, we do only address the questions that pertain to the topic. So some of the things that were asked might not be directly on topic. So email those to me. That's what I'm here for. Good stuff.
It does. It is. Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for all of the interaction. Thanks for liking, and subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate the comments. Email us if you have any more questions. But have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
See ya.